Welcome to Basic Brewing Video. I'm James Spencer.
I'm Steve Wilkes.
This is your turn.
It's my turn.
This is your show. What do we got going on?
Okay, so what I did, I brewed a English IPA, and
They'll be the judge of that.
they'll be that's I'm sure they will. I think it's an English IPA. The brewing software told me it was.
That'd be fun.
Anyway, I brewed an English IPA, and at bottling, and I bottled my beer. So at bottling, I decided that I wanted to do a little experiment, kind of. Mm-hmm. So I had left over some French oak, a 5-gallon treatment of a French oak extract.
Ooh.
I won't tell you the company because it's not an ad.
Right.
And I don't even know the company, to be honest with you. But, yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
But at any rate, this little container held enough, according to this company,
Right.
French oak extract to add to 5 gallons of product, wine or beer or whatever.
Okay.
So I thought I wanted to do that. I wanted to use it. And
Sure.
I kind of like oaked beers a little bit.
Can I see it?
Yes. So what I did is at bottling, I bottled a 6-pack without any of the oak.
Control.
So that's this beer.
Right.
This is the rest of the beer. This is the
With
balance.
this whole thing.
The whole thing in it. And so what we're going to do is, of course, taste the beer and see how we like it. And we're going to see what difference it made to our taste buds and if we like it or not.
It doesn't have any, it doesn't tell you what's in it.
So I don't really know. And to be honest, it was a salesman sample that I had along the way.
Yeah.
And I had used some before. I had not used it in beer, though. Not the French oak. It came with a little thing of American oak, like Hungarian oak and French oak.
Huh.
And this is the one I had left, and I've used it in meads, actually, in the past. And it was good. And so I thought, well, we'll just try it.
Yeah. It's kind of like a tincture. We're well versed in tinctures.
We're well versed in tinctures.
Okay.
So I'll let you pour.
Oh, okay.
And I'll talk a little bit.
So this is the normal one.
This is normal.
I'm going to put normal on the left.
Okay. So at any rate, the beer it's a 5-gallon batch of beer, and it's 10 pounds of Maris Otter, which was crisp Maris Otter, I believe. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And 1 pound of Briess honey malt. I think they call it American honey malt, but Briess honey malt, and 4 ounces of Briess malted oats. So not flaked oats, but malted oats.
Oh, interesting.
So that's the grain bill. The hop build on it is 1 ounce of Northern Brewer at, let me get the...
And this is a 5-gallon batch.
5-gallon batch. So 1 ounce of 7.5 alpha acid Northern Brewer hops at 60 minutes, 1 ounce at 30 minutes, and 1 ounce at 15 minutes.
Oh, interesting.
So
kind of old school.
Very old school, very traditional kind of way of adding the hops. In theory, it's 53 IBUs. I don't know how to prove that or not, but that's what my software says. And the yeast that I used, and you're going to have to help me with the pronunciation because it's the Imperial Hygge.
Well, I've been criticized for how I pronounce it.
That's why I'm not saying the word.
I said Hygge, but but I'm from Arkansas.
And I've heard it with an O. I've heard it like
Hygge?
Hygge.
Well,
Hygge.
I say it like a Hygge, like Mr. Tudball. How about that?
That's right. So,
Mrs. Huygens.
But now here's the thing. So that makes it not really an English IPA because it's the wrong yeast.
Yeah.
But it's the yeast I had. It was the mood
Well,
I
you
was
brew
in,
with the yeast you have.
And that's another portion of the experiment.
Yeah.
So brewed at ale temperatures.
Hygge is a lager.
Yes.
If I say it different every time, then I'll get it right once, maybe. I don't know.
It's a 1061 beer. Do you need a salve or anything? It's a 1061 beer that finished at 1014, 6.3 ABV.
Oh, nice.
So let's see. So
this is the normal. That's normal.
This has no oak.
No oak.
No oak.
No wood. Leave your comments below.
It's a nice little light.
It is
like
beautiful.
a tan beer. I wouldn't say it's. I guess copper, but it doesn't have any red in it.
Here, pose for the yeah. Don't hold it in front of your face. Yeah, the thumbnail. There we go.
It's a third show.
Third show of the day, but we're not drinking a lot. Okay. Okay, I'm nosing.
He's nosing. I've never brewed with this high a percentage of honey malt before.
So, you used a lager. Yeah, I think Hyuga is a lager.
It is a lager yeast.
But you brewed it at ale temperature. Ooh,
That's right.
Interesting.
Nice beer.
I'm not getting a whole lot on the nose, but you didn't dry hop. It's real good. It's not the malt backbone is nice and caramely. The hops are. This is like an old school. This IPA. I would say if you said that this. I mean, I don't know that I've had. Obviously, had none like fresh from the tap English IPAs, but according to all the descriptions I've heard, this is more along the lines of a traditional English IPA. It's not a West Coast.
Nope.
Not a New England. Not a Midwest. It's just like when we first started homebrewing, people were making IPAs.
Yep. This is an old school
very
IPA.
Nice. I like it.
It doesn't have the West Coast, citrusy hops, American New World hops. It's also not an East Coast. It doesn't taste like mango or anything like that. It's
That's super nice.
Just a really nice quaffable beer.
The bitterness is very well rounded, but in that it is sharp, but it carries on through, and I feel like there's some three-dimensionalness to it.
Yeah. Sometimes just brew a traditional beer.
Yeah, it's good. This is like old school when we first started brewing, although we wouldn't have done it all grain.
No.
This would have been
right.
I would like to brew an extract beer.
It's easy.
Yeah, they're fun to do.
Okay, so
and
this
can be very delicious.
So this is the same beer with the French oak
With the
treatment.
that.
See what we think.
Of course, my nose doesn't work as well as it used to, but
allergies are a little weird. It's springtime. Everything outside is yellow. There's so much oak that's falling right now. So
yeah, talk about oak.
Yeah,
we got your oak pollen.
Just hold this outside for 5 minutes.
You got your oak pollen with the oak tincture. So it's not jumping at the oak is not jumping out at me.
Me neither.
In the nose.
I get some. I don't know that I get a ton.
Maybe a little. I don't want to degas my beer too much though. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
The unoaked one, I think the flavor is a little sharper. The flavors are a little crisper in the unoaked one. I think the flavors are softened a little bit in this one. And I'm really splitting hairs because it's not much different, in my opinion.
I can be talked into that. There may be a little more like oak astringency kind of thing going on.
There is. I think there is.
It doesn't taste like if someone handed me this and I had it, I wouldn't say, ooh, this has got oak. This has been in a barrel.
I agree.
I think it's different. Mm-hmm. But
I don't think it's better. It's different. It's good. It's just as good, but it's a little bit different.
It's pretty tasty though.
Yeah, perfectly good beer. I really like that honey malt. Honey malt always kind of scared me. I was always like, in a 5-gallon batch. I'm talking like Foster Brooks here.
No, you're just going through some gas.
I'm telling you.
That's all right.
And at my age,
you're with friends.
So I'd always been kind of afraid of honey malt. It's like I never formulated anything with more than in a 5-gallon batch, more than about 8 ounces of it, because I was like, oh, that could get gloppy or too sweet. But I really think this came through beautifully.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
This is a really good beer.
And the Maris Otter, of course, you can't go wrong with Maris Otter. And just a little bit of oats kind of softened it a little bit.
I think I do like this one better.
Which one?
The oaked.
The oaked.
I don't know that I would have told you that it's an oaked beer. It's not like, chewing on a table leg. Mm. But I think I kind of do like it better.
It's a little soft. Like I said, I think to me, it rounded it off a little bit. I don't know.
Do you get any vanilla?
Yes, actually.
Oh,
I do.
okay.
I do get just a little bit.
Maybe that's what's rounding off the, the sharp edges of the hoppiness.
It's just a little bit more complex. There's just another layer of complexity that you can't quite put your finger on, but you know it's missing if when you
Right.
compare
Once
it.
you go back, even
Yeah.
though we should be drinking water and eating crackers and all that stuff.
That's for amateurs. I just stick with alcohol.
But I do get a teeny bit more astringency that's different from hop bitterness
Yeah.
in this one.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think it adds to the complexity of the whole thing.
Well, there you go.
I think it's a
beer. It's a nice recipe.
success.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there better be because I got a lot of it.
I'll send it my way. That's a delicious beer to begin with, just that recipe. So if you follow that recipe, whether you add the oak stuff or not, or you might, Mabel, if you're listening, you might be able to add your own oak tincture or put some oak cubes or spirals or whatever you do.
Yeah, however you want to get there.
Yeah.
But and then just the simplicity of it. It's a really simple grain bill, really simple hopping strategy.
Yeah, you're not dry hopping.
I'm not doing anything fancy with the hops, and I kind of like it.
It's real good.
So,
There you go. All right.
Ollie.
Third and final show of the day. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Happy brewing.
Come and visit us online at basicbrewing.com. You can find archive lists of our audio and video podcasts on homebrewing. You can also find our DVDs and our brewer's logbook, where you can track and log up to 50 batches of beer.
That's a good beer.
It's really good.
Both
I
of
like
them
it a
are
lot.
good.
All the beers were good today.
Yeah, that's just an old-fashioned homebrew IPA with nothing fancy.
Nothing fancy.
But it's good.
Yeah.
Just solid and good.
Yeah. I brought these to the church men's group the other night. They're Baptist, so we had to drink it out back. But everybody loved it.